All right, welcome to the Zombie Eaters podcast. I am here today with my good friend BJ, and Zach is here, not here again, but we're going to cut it up, give it a go, see what happens. So, BJ, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I know that we've been talking about this for a little bit, and I'm overjoyed to have you here today, man, so thanks for coming over.
Yeah, dude, thanks for inviting me, man. I'm honored, seriously.
Yeah, no, and I'm just as honored to have you here. So, Bill and I have been friends for a bit, and he's originally from, I think, the Midwest, and which is where Zach is from. And I know that you're really into like fishing and longboarding. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself that I may not have just gotten into?
Yeah, well, so I have longboarded, but outside of that, none of that is
none of that's correct,
accurate or correct, I guess, as the kids say. I don't know who you have doing your research. It seems to be a trend here.
I just listen to my friends when they talk.
Do you have headphones in while they're talking?
Yeah.
You're just listening to
the music's on.
Elliott Smith. Or
Yeah. I'm getting depressed even more when they're talking to me.
So I've been to the Midwest. I've been fishing.
Yeah.
I've certainly been on a longboard.
Well, you're a long person, so I guess I just assumed that about you.
Who told you?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think you showed me once.
Yeah.
I was arguing with you when you just fladong, and then now the argument was over.
I can reach the high shelf. That's accurate. That's finally something accurate.
That is, yeah. That I'm gonna write down. That I'm glad to know.
Yeah, I can upper deck it. Yeah.
Yeah, but on a real note though, man, you are someone that I always enjoy being around, and the funny thing is that I never thought I could get a resentment, I guess, against somebody because I'm not able to hang out with them enough.
Yeah. This last year has taught us some fucking new shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, the last year too, like, I didn't really hang out with anybody.
Right. Yeah.
Like Dulcie would come over. I was doing live, everything was on Zoom, and I just kind of, I liked that isolation.
Yeah.
And the most time I spent with my friends was when we were painting.
Yeah.
That's like it.
Wow, check that out.
Yeah.
Well, same. I mean, I live alone.
Right.
I
wish I lived alone.
Well, yeah, it's great. I have to force myself, because I'm naturally sort of introverted. I have to force myself to, like, interact. Like I was telling you, I work in restaurants, and having all the guests come back en masse is kind of crazy. It's like watching a newborn giraffe learning how to walk.
Yeah.
People, like, reacclimating to society and manners and.
Well, I think for most of us who, followed protocol and just decided that it was probably best to listen to the public health officials rather than the general public, I think a lot of us too are the ones that are having the harder time, reacclimating. And for me, it's not about reacclimation. It's about seeing people getting back into their old routines so quickly in this flouting conventions.
Bro. I was in line today. I was getting some bath towels because $5. How you not?
Yeah, right.
Such a first world thing. Now that I'm sober, I have a little extra.
I have Nautica bath towels.
Fucking bragger. Right. Fuck.
I'm gonna talk about bath towels.
Chapeau. Yeah.
I have one Nautica
but
bath towel.
There was this like four people behind me that. We're on a treasure hunt, is what I surmised. Like by the time I got,
they're already doing treasure hunts.
Well, it was like a group building thing where some corporate, I don't know.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
But they had on their like fun shorts, and it wasn't the suits and ties that you might expect. I'm sure that they normally wear.
Uh-huh.
And there was two girls, two guys, and they were loud talking. You know what I mean? Like that's something that you gotta bring.
Like talking into a drive-through, into a clown's mouth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And but there was like a litmus test, of I was like, hey, test the room. Let's use our inside voices. You know what I mean? But they would not stop getting in my hip pocket. I would inch forward, and then they'd be right there. And I'm like, can we keep some of the shit? Can we keep some of the spacing? Just enough. Like, there's no one behind you guys, right? So nobody's pressuring them to move forward.
Yep.
And you're just basically yelling in my hip pocket. And I've got a handful of towels, and I'm considering just leaving.
I'm considering either leaving or committing a homicide.
Putting all the towels right down where I was stood.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess towels aren't in the cards for me.
You can't let them be above the towel.
Yeah, I ended up
You
staying.
can't give them that power.
They were good talents.
Then they
for
won't
$5,
stop.
bro. And something that you learn is it's probably good to have good talents.
Well, and this is something that I've noticed is like a glaring defect about me that I've yet been able to remedy.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I was in your situation, I would have turned around and been like, "You guys, please shut the fuck up and please try not to act like you didn't just learn a fucking lesson."
Sure.
You know.
Sure.
It's like, and that's something that, and
they might as well have been mouth kissing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there another kind of kissing?
Yeah, but it's.
That's for a different podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
I reread The Plague by Albert Camus during it's so like unbelievably eerie how well that like philosophy plays out in modern day.
Yeah.
You know, because as soon as the city of Oran where the plague happened, as soon as they got the vaccines, everybody was just back to that old, like nothing happened.
Just back.
You know, and his philosophy of that is when the evil, which is the plague, shows up again, how are we going to defend ourselves again if we didn't learn our lesson from the first one? You know?
Wow.
Yeah, and it was just, and I see these people just, I'm like, oh my God.
Right back into it.
Right. Like 30 million people are dying in India right now. Like, it's over there ravishing
dude.
people.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that shit fucking, an outbreak happens here again, dude, we're on our way to being a third world country. We don't have any more money to give out.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
that's above my pay grade, but yeah.
Well, I mean, studying, like, I'm just surmising, but like, I'm in my master's right now, learning about like administration policy, like where funds are allocated and how things work.
Mm-hmm.
And I know why a lot of Republicans didn't want to give the third or the second stimulus. I get it. You know, the whole purpose of a stimulus is to put growth back into the economy.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you have people who are already drug addicts just spending the money on drugs, it's not going back into the economy, not the right economy.
Yeah, I mean, I was a music major, so you know way more about that stuff than I do. But I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, basically what it breaks down to is that we wanted to give the stimulus, A, to the population, B, to bring back money into the economy, C, which creates a more round economic pasture, basically, for the government in the country.
Right.
Because it still has a heartbeat.
Right.
But when that money, the wealthy people that got it, who are just like below that pay grade,
yeah,
they're good with money. They save it. They're not spending it.
Yeah.
Then you got the lower class that's spending it on drugs and dumb shit.
Well,
you know?
Yeah, the restaurant I work at is quite expensive.
Yeah.
Like I work there. I mean, I have eaten there, but I don't make it.
The Hobbit.
No, that's not it. But
no.
Yeah. But yeah, we definitely had a lot of unemployment cards coming through.
Yeah.
Over the summertime, and I thought, well, you know, that's their money. They can do whatever they want with it. But
exactly.
I know what you're saying.
But that's why the Republicans were like, we don't need to. Like this is not going to help as much as you think. Yeah. You know, and that's because like the third stimulus, the way economists looked at it, was more of a long-term recovery plan. Mm-hmm. But too many people are spending it on things now that aren't boosting the economic growth of the country.
Yeah. Well, I always like. I don't know if we need to go down the economic rabbit hole or whatever. I don't go wherever you want.
Ooh, I love economics.
I know. but like, you know, like, what is the simple solution there? What? Just save it and then put it into other things?
There is no simple solution.
Yeah,
that's the problem. There is no simple solution. You know.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, that is something that, you know, I followed very.
For all.
I followed very closely, and even when people were like shitting on Trump and saying he was a bad president, the way I look at that situation is that I'm not looking at what's been done or where what's going to be done. What's being done now?
Yeah.
You know, and say what you want about Trump. I'm not defending Trump. I'm not a Trump supporter, but him getting that, even that $600 stimulus pass through, helped a lot of people.
Yeah.
He did a lot of other stuff that didn't help Americans.
Yeah.
But, you know, in that moment, he made a good move. So, but it is what it is. And now we got Biden and Kamala, and I do believe her plan is to fuck him to death and become president.
You think she gets down with him?
Dude, you think that girl didn't fucking suck every dick on the way till she found the one she liked the most that had the most power?
I don't.
All right, then we won't talk about it. But let's just say
that seems a little 1950s.
She's no saint.
Well, we are in California.
She's going to fuck Biden to death and become president, and then Biden's wife is going to kill her, and then we don't have anybody.
Okay.
Oh, we'll have the Secretary of State, I think, or
So
the Speaker of the House.
It's like,
Pelosi? Oh,
yeah.
she better not fuck him to
So
death.
it's like Game of
Thrones.
Thrones.
Yeah. With less dicks.
There are a lot of dicks.
Dulcie and I talked about that yesterday.
Did you really?
I would not get off it.
Yeah.
I'm like, every dick you see, it's just like the time that they spent choreographing that, like doing the cinematography. It's like, the light hits it the right way.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
You gotta light it. You gotta light it. Somebody spent a lot of time and editing, perhaps, if that's not maybe the thing they like watching the most. They're editing it, right, for hours. We're talking about editing. I mean, my God.